Hello. So in John chapter 20, verses 1 through 18, we hear the story of resurrection. We hear how Mary Magdalene went to the tomb. She found it empty, and she basically gets the disciples. Of course, Simon Peter and the other disciple, they don't necessarily believe that Jesus has resurrected, and neither does Mary. She basically cries, and of course, you hear about Jesus being mistaken as a gardener and telling her that basically, your master's not lying here. He fulfilled the promise. So normally on an Easter service, Easter message, I would talk about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I would talk about how he had suffered. But on the way here to church today, uh, I actually heard a for the first time a new name for today. Instead of hearing Happy Easter, I heard Happy Resurrection Day. And that got me thinking, because yes, we do celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ, but also we celebrate the resurrection of us. When Jesus had came back, when he fulfilled that promise, he basically fulfilled a promise that we heard all the way back in the Old Testament in Psalms, where basically Jesus would resurrect, he would come back from the dead. And then it got me thinking about Romans chapter 11. In Romans chapter 11, there's a verse where basically it talks about the spirit of the resurrection living within us. And it got me thinking. See, we celebrate Jesus Christ. We celebrate his resurrection, fulfilling that promise. But when he came out of that tomb, when Jesus came out and he fulfilled that promise, he also signified the resurrection in us. He signified the resurrection in Simon Peter. He signified the resurrection of his followers because they truly did not let go of their lives and change their lives until that moment. That was the moment of their birth in Christianity. That was basically they were following, but they were not truly believing it in their heart. And when you realize that that spirit of resurrection, that spirit that basically helped Jesus, because at that time, Jesus, if you think about it, he had suffered so much during the trials, during the crucifixion. That body was so beaten up. And I can somewhat attest to that because I just had mouth surgery, which is probably why I'm not incredibly clear today, because part of my face is still paralyzed or swollen. And so I'm sitting there and I got, my tooth yanked on Friday and I had oral surgery. And believe it or not, I'm still somewhat in pain. I'm not recuperated. So that's something so small compared to what Jesus' body went through. He went through a tremendous torture. He was starved and all this stuff. And basically, no, I don't think anybody could come back and just basically get up and walk away from that after a couple days. That's incredible. He had to have something help him, and that was the spirit of resurrection that came through. That spirit of resurrection gave him that power. That was his boost of energy, kind of like coffee is in the morning to wake me up. I'm not normal until I drink coffee. That was the spirit of resurrection, and it lives within us. So I've never shied away from my past. I I refer to it. I could have made choice and I could have stayed on the path that I was, and I would have not been the happy go lucky person that I am today. But I basically found Jesus again in my life, and I had to go through my way of finding Jesus. I had to basically be reborn again. And that is the resurrection I'm talking about because every Christian has to go through resurrection. We need that change in us to become a better person. And today we recognize Jesus being resurrected. It's also we need to be remembered the fact that we have had that resurrection. Now there's probably some people that are watching this video and they're probably like, I'm not happy with who I am. If you ask me to write a page on who I am, I'm not happy with who I am. I need a change. I need a fresh start. That fresh start starts today. You have the opportunity because that spirit of resurrection is within you. God lets us know that we are never alone. Jesus let us know we are never alone. So when Jesus was on that cross, he was not alone. When Jesus was in that tomb, he was not alone because the Spirit of God was with Jesus at that time. And he is with us today. Every morning that we wake up, we have a chance to change who we are. We have that ability. Now, there's no set path to becoming a better Christian. I wish there was. I wish there was a way. All right, first thing you need to do is this. Second thing you need to do is this. Every person's different. Every person is unique. And we have to find our way to get to Christ. We have to find our way to become a better Christian, to become a better father, son, mother, daughter, friend, brother, sister. We have to find what makes us unique. We have to find our own path. But we are never alone because God is with us. Spirit is with us and Jesus is with us. Three people already right there are with us. And there are other people who will be with you through the thick and thin. I remember this one guy, he was 89 years old, and majority of his life he was a good Christian. People looked up to this guy and he was near death. We all knew he was going to pass. And I remember people would come up to him and they would tell him all these good stories about how he had did this, how he did that. And he basically thought he was not a good person. He didn't think he was going to heaven. And he was. He was going to go to heaven. But when people started telling him these stories, he was like, that's not me. That was God working through me. So God does work through us. We just need to open up our hearts. We need to let that spirit of resurrection, we need to let God in our hearts and let that spirit of resurrection guide us, give us that strength that we need to become a better person. Don't waste your opportunity. It starts today. So as we celebrate Jesus' resurrection on today being Resurrection Day, let us also recognize the fact that Jesus resurrected us or or helped change the life of somebody that we know, someone who's our mentor, someone who basically has given us an example and led the way. Let us remember that. Let us be that type of person who can be there to help others who want to change their life today. I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful day. May God bless you. Thank you and goodbye.